What's up, everybody? Just had a little itch I needed to scratch. Scratch. I'm done scratching now. So today's story. A few weeks ago, it was before the Laser Makers Realm live stream, which was 2 weeks ago. Had a coworker who had ordered some pins, lapel pins, from Temu. And she was showing me, and I was looking at it, and I thought, I wonder if I could recreate that, or create something like it, and make my own Halloween lapel pin. So that started with one design, which led to a second, and that led to a third, and then a fourth. So without wasting too much time, let me just show you one of them. And let me show you the second. And I also have earring versions. And I have two other designs up here on my hat. So, why am I all itchy? Because I had an itch I needed to scratch. I created those designs and came up with a lapel pin that I thought would be as good or better than the Temu version. So I have the lapel pin, I have the little backer and the cover. I don't know which one's called the dammit, but I hope the dammit is the pointy part, because if you step on it, that's definitely what you'll be seeing. So when I was creating these, I thought, well, I could just engrave them in wood, I could make them out of acrylic, and I thought, what would really be neat? Well, my friend Jerry over at 3DHP had reminded me about scratch paper. It's been a few months ago. I ordered some in and was playing around with it. So I've played around with scratch paper, did a few designs. I've done it with a diode, and I've done designs with the fiber laser. Here's one of them that I've done. I did my Burn to Learn logo on scratch paper. And it came out great. And I thought, man, I think this would make some great earrings. So you saw the results. They did make great earrings. Oh, I lost one. Make great lapel pins. They're really colorful. They look nice. I thought this would be a great video. I'll teach you guys how to make these. Then you can make them and give them out as gifts, sell them, do whatever you want to do. So without further ado, but wait, we can't just jump right into Lightburn. There's a few things that we need first. Put on your crafter's hat and get ready to do some crafting. Order these supplies and you'll be ready to roll. First thing you're going to need is some spray adhesive. It doesn't have to be Elmer's, just any spray adhesive. Second thing you're going to need is some plywood of some type. Get your favorite plywood. Get the cheap stuff, not the stuff that's A grade, because we're going to cover this up anyway. Or you could use acrylic or whatever you have laying around. You could even use cardboard if you wanted. Order some scratch paper. If you're not familiar with scratch paper, this is the paper that you can use a pencil and scratch, and it reveals the colors underneath. So that is scratch paper. Order you some scratch paper. I'll have links in the description to all of this stuff. So plywood, spray adhesive, scratch paper. It comes in full sheets, which are approximately A4 size. So there is a full sheet of scratch paper. And you will also need pin backers and the rubber covers. I'll have a link to these in the description too. And the last and final thing you'll need is some sort of hot glue gun. If you want to hot glue the pin backers to the back of your pins, or you can use super glue, whatever you want. I use a hot glue gun. Before we get started with anything in Lightburn, we need to spray your plywood with the adhesive and then attach your scratch paper. It's pretty simple. I would normally do this outside or in a spot where I have my fume extraction easily available so that I'm not having to smell the stuff. But for this video, we're just going to sacrifice a little bit. and you can hear the ball in it. Whatever kind you have might have the balls. Make sure you shake it up real well. Attach your scratch paper. Stuff gets nice and cold as it dries. So that is our first step. We have scratch paper adhered to plywood. Next we go into Lightburn. Today I will be using the Lasermatic 10 to do the engraving on the scratch paper. I've done it with the fiber before, and you can use a CO2. I haven't tried it with the UV yet, but all the other lasers I have tried, and it is workable. So you'll just have to experiment and find your settings for that. I will share the Lasermatic settings with you. So that is a 10-watt diode. So you'll at least have a good place to start. Now, let's jump into Lightburn. All right, the file that I'm working with today has the negative and positive versions of our engravings. For the scratch paper, I prefer the negatives. That way it's revealing more of the collar and it leaves the black layer behind. And then here's the little earring file or graphic. It has the attachment point for the hook for your ear. And not going to spend a whole lot of time in Lightburn. I'm not going to go through creating these designs. We are going to take a look at our settings. Scratch paper, the top layer is very delicate, so I run it very fast. 20,250 steps, or 20,250 millimeters per minute, 34% power. I'm running an interval of 0.07. Now, what I found with the scratch paper is if you have too much power, you'll notice that the plastic layer, which is the shiny layer, starts to peel off. If it peels off a little bit, it might be salvageable, but ideally you do not want it flaking up and coming off at all. So if that happens, drop your power or increase your speed. My cut settings for the plywood with this 10-watt diode is 250 millimeters per minute at 98% power. Make one quick cut and done. And that's it. I am going to run this job in Lightburn, and we'll just fast forward through that, but you'll at least get to see it in action. So let's go to the camera and update our overlay. I've left the gantry in the way, so let's move it out of the way. We'll use our little map icon and move it, and then we'll update the overlay again. And there we go. So all those should hit exactly where we want them, and I just moved the gantry back. But overlay's still the same, so that's no problem. Just move these down here and tighten that group up a little bit. And then I will run all of these and show you the positive and negative, and then you can decide which one you think looks best. That way you at least have a side-by-side comparison. But that's it. Let's just head over to the Lasermatic. And I'll get you zoomed in. And we'll hit start and be ready to go. Turn on my fume extraction. Don't want it to be too loud while it's up and running. And then from here on out, I'm just going to fast forward. Maybe play a little bit of music, and then you can see this engrave take place. Okay, our pins and earrings are off of the laser. Have my hot glue gun heating up. Now all we have to do is attach the pin backers to the back of the pins. Now I'm not going to finish these in any way. It's not totally heated up yet, but it's close. Close enough for government work, as I always say. I'm going to be a little messy. Yeah, that one hopped right into place almost with the hot glue gun, but you can clean up the strings pretty easily. There's one. There's two. Alright, we have our pins off of the laser. Everything's looking good. The hot glue gun is hot. So all we have to do is put a little bit of glue on the back of your pin. Press the little spike into place. Get rid of your strings. Then we attach the backer. And then we have our first pin. And then just repeat that process for the rest of your pins. Alright, so I'll get the rest of these done and then be right back with you. Right, you're back. Everything camera. And on you decide which you prefer, the negative or the positive image there. More color or less color. I'm decided. Like that. Here. I'll say here. And how about for this pin? It says never alone if you have needs. And how this pin? It says you're never alone if you have needs. So in this one we can have a positive and negative. And then we have a switch. A face. Press a nice button. That's a negative. And then we also have our earrings. So you can see the little face. You can see the little earring loops. Attach to your hardware on each side of that. There you go. I do apologize for my hands. Everything looking nasty. I've been restoring a 1976 Ford lawn tractor. I'm just showing you pictures of it. You see what I'm working on. But I can definitely do more in this laser ring since it's started working last week. Now we need to finish. This is what you need. My friend Rich, every hobby on this rolling glaze. It is amazing. With these, I'm getting every solid one coat. But you're using this one here, really project. You apply coat, do a best sand, then apply second coat, then do a sand, apply third, and it will look just like it is coated with glass. It is amazing. I'm gonna go outside, spray these, put them out, come back, finish the product, and then we're ready to go. And how about this pin that says you are never alone if you have demons? So in this one we again have the positive and the negative. And then we have the witch, which a face has a nice zombie look when it's in the negative. And then we also have our earrings. So you can see the little, let me cover my face. You can see the little earring loops to attach the earring hardware on either side of the bat. There we go. I do apologize for my hands being covered in paint and looking all nasty. I've been restoring a 1976 Ford lawn tractor. I might just roll in a couple pictures of that so you can see what I've been working on, maybe a before and after. But I can definitely do more than just laser engraving, so that's what I've been working on here the last week. Now, we need to get to the finish. This is what you need. My friend Rich over at LA Hobby Guy turned me on to this Rust-Oleum triple thick glaze. It is amazing. With these, I'm getting a great result in one coat. But if you're using this on any of your other laser projects, you can apply a coat, do a wet sand, then apply a second coat, and then do a wet sand, apply a third, and it will look just like it is coated with glass. It is amazing. But I'm going to go outside, spray these, let them dry a little bit, come back, show you the finished product, and then we'll wrap this video up. Alright folks, we are back from the finishing process with the Rust-Oleum triple thick glaze. Alright, we're back with the main camera now, and here's another shot of our scary cute cats. They look great. I hope you guys found this useful. I hope that you enjoyed it, most of all. And I cannot wait to give these to my coworker and see what she thinks compared to the ones that she bought from Temu. So that will be a great addition I'm going to have these files for sale on my website, so be sure and check that out. Link will be in the description. Please leave a comment if you make these. Let me know what you think, or if you don't make them and don't want to make them and think they totally suck, leave a comment anyway. Comments help the algorithm, so please help me out if you made it this far. But that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. As usual, have a great day. We'll see you on the next one.